Memories at the corner grocery store. A lesson in community. When I close my eyes, I can still see it clearly. That little grocery store at the corner of our street. It wasn't big. Nothing like the giant supermarkets today. Just a small wooden building with a creaky door, shelves lined with canned goods, jars of candy, and the smell of freshly ground coffee drifting through the air. That store wasn't just a place to buy bread or milk. It was the heartbeat of our neighborhood. Every trip to the store felt like a reunion. I'd bump into Mrs. Johnson, who always had a kind word and a warm smile. Old Mr. Harris would lean on the counter, chatting about baseball scores or the weather. Children would crowd near the candy jars, eyes wide, counting their pennies carefully before choosing a sweet treat. The store owner knew everyone by name. He knew whose child had just graduated, who was sick and needed a little extra care, who might need credit until payday. The grocery store wasn't just a business. It was a neighbor, a friend. What I remember most wasn't what we bought, but what we shared. The store was a place where news traveled faster than the newspapers. A new baby, a wedding, a soldier coming home. Everyone heard about it at the corner store. It was laughter echoing between the shelves. It was recipes being swapped in front of the flour bags. It was the comfort of knowing that if you stayed long enough, someone you cared about would walk through that door. I can still picture my father taking me there on Saturday mornings. His rough hand held mine as we walked down the street. Inside, he'd let me pick one small candy, just one. I'd stand there forever, trying to decide between a lollipop or a piece of fudge. My father would smile, patiently waiting, as if this little choice was the most important decision in the world. That memory stays with me, not because of the candy, but because of the love and time shared in that small store. As time passed, things changed. The big supermarkets arrived, with their wide aisles and endless choices. The little grocery stores began to close, one by one. The corner store of my childhood eventually shut its doors. The building stood empty for years, and every time I walked by, I felt a little ache in my heart. It wasn't just a store that disappeared. It was a piece of our community, a place where neighbors became friends. Looking back, I realized that little grocery store taught me something important. Community isn't built in grand places. It's built in small, everyday moments. A smile exchanged, a story shared, a helping hand when someone needed it. That's what held us together. In today's world, with all our technology and convenience, it's easy to live side by side without really knowing one another. But the memory of that store reminds me, we need each other. We need those small connections to feel truly alive. No, we may not have that little corner grocery anymore, but we can still carry its spirit. Invite a neighbor over for coffee. Ask someone how they're really doing. Share a meal, a story, a laugh. Because just like in that store, happiness is found when we gather, when we listen, when we belong. That small grocery store is gone now, but its lesson stays with me. Community is one of life's greatest treasures. It doesn't come from things we buy, but from the people we share our lives with. And sometimes when I pass by the place where that store once stood, I smile to myself. I can almost hear the creak of the door, smell the coffee, and see my neighbors gathered once again.
If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Together, let's keep these memories alive and pass on the timeless lessons of joy, simplicity, and community.